Get your filthy hands off my daughter." Maya Blackhawk's voice trembles as she storms into the Gallup police station, her heart pounding at the sight of her 14-year-old daughter Nia, cuffed and scared. The police chief, Carl Dutton, sneers, "Just another Navajo thief, huh?" A leaked video of his racist taunts sparks outrage among the Navajo community, but it also unleashes a wave of threats from a far-right group targeting Maya's family. Caught in a biased justice system, Maya faces an impossible choice: stay silent to keep custody of Nia, or fight back and risk losing everything. It all begins on a cold New Mexico night, with a mother's desperate plea. Maya Blackhawk, a 34-year-old Navajo single mother, carries the weight of her past like a stone in her chest. Raised in the sprawling Navajo reservation, she grew up under the shadow of her father's wrongful arrest and death in a cold prison cell, a wound that never healed. Now, in Gallup, New Mexico, she scrapes by as an administrative clerk at a law office, her desk buried under papers and her spirit worn by subtle racist jabs from colleagues who whisper behind her back. Every day, Maya fights to shield her 14-year-old daughter Nia from the pull of local gangs, pouring her heart into keeping her safe and dreaming of a better future. But the world seems stacked against her. Bills pile up, her paycheck barely stretches, and the sting of prejudice lingers in every sidelong glance. Worst of all, she's locked in a bitter custody battle with her wealthy ex-husband, Ethan Carter, a white man who wields his privilege like a weapon. The biased justice system favors him, dismissing Maya's Navajo roots as a mark of inferiority. Yet, with fierce love for Nia and a fire born from her father's injustice, Maya stands resolute, ready to face any storm to protect her daughter. The phone's shrill ring slices through the quiet of Maya Blackhawk's small Gallup apartment at 9 p.m., her heart plummeting as a gruff voice says, "Your daughter's been arrested for shoplifting." She grabs her coat, the cold New Mexico air biting her skin as she races to the police station, her mind replaying nightmares of her father's unjust arrest. Inside, she spots Nia, her 14-year-old daughter, pale and trembling, in a locked interrogation room, her dark eyes wide with fear. Chief Carl Dutton, a towering figure with a sneer, blocks Maya's path, spitting, "Just another Indian crook, huh?" When Maya demands to see Nia, Dutton laughs, his voice dripping with contempt, refusing her access. Her voice shakes as she shouts, "She's just a kid!" But Dutton's eyes narrow, threatening to report her outburst to the court, twisting the knife in her ongoing custody battle. Maya's chest tightens, torn between rage and helplessness, her love for Nia clashing with the fear of losing her forever. The station's fluorescent lights buzz overhead, casting harsh shadows on her determined face as she vows to fight for her daughter, no matter the cost. In the dim glow of the police station's break room, a young officer, sickened by Chief Dutton's cruelty, secretly uploads a video of him berating Nia, his voice snarling, "Dirty Navajo thief!" By morning, the clip explodes across social media, shared by Navajo activists and local news, its raw ugliness igniting fury in the community. Protesters gather outside the station, their signs demanding justice, their chants echoing through Gallup's dusty streets. Maya, scrolling through her phone at home, feels a surge of hope as strangers rally for Nia, but her stomach churns when she sees hateful comments from a far-right group. Her phone buzzes with a chilling text, "Keep quiet or you and your kid are done." The threats escalate, each message laced with venom, targeting her Navajo heritage. Nia, curled up on the couch, glances at Maya with wide, scared eyes, silently begging for safety. Maya's hands tremble as she deletes the messages, her heart pounding with a mix of pride for her community's strength and dread of the growing danger, knowing this video has turned their lives into a battleground. Maya sits at her kitchen table, the leaked video replaying in her mind, its images of Dutton's cruelty fueling her anger but also her fear. She worries the court will paint her as a troublemaker, jeoparding her custody fight for Nia. Desperate, she visits Tina Yazzie, a Navajo lawyer with sharp eyes and a weary smile, who listens quietly as Maya pours out her fears. Tina's advice is blunt. Stay silent, Maya. The judge will use this against you. Back home, Maya finds Naya in her room, tears staining her cheeks, whispering, "It's my fault, Mom." Maya's heart breaks as she pulls Nia close, stroking her hair, promising to fix this, though doubt gnaws at her. The weight of her choice presses down. Silence might save Nia, but it means swallowing injustice. As moonlight spills through the window, Maya's resolve hardens, her love for Nia burning brighter than her fear, pushing her to protect her daughter, even if it means defying Tina's caution and facing the storm ahead. Each morning, Maya drags herself to the law office in Gallup, her desk a cluttered island in a sea of white colleagues who offer fake smiles but whisper, "Reservation girl," when she passes. Their subtle jabs sting, reminding her of the prejudice that shadows her Navajo roots. Her paycheck, thin and stretched, barely covers rent for their cramped apartment, forcing her to skip meals to buy Nia's school supplies. At home, Nia grows distant, her once bright laughter replaced by sullen silence, her eyes avoiding Maya's worried gaze. Maya tries to talk, but Nia shrugs, retreating to her room, leaving Maya to wonder if the arrest has scarred her daughter's spirit. She lies awake at night, the hum of the city outside her window, haunted by memories of her father's death in prison, and terrified Nia might slip into the grip of local gangs. Yet, every morning Maya rises, fueled by a fierce love for Nia, determined to carve a better life, even as the world seems to conspire against them. Maya's phone buzzes with Ethan Carter's name, her ex-husband's voice cold and accusing. "You let our daughter become a criminal, Maya!" His words cut deep, exploiting Nia's arrest to brand Maya an unfit mother. Ethan, a wealthy white businessman, files a court motion for full custody, backed by his sharp-tongued lawyer, Laura Pierce, whose polished suits scream privilege. Maya's hands shake as she reads the court notice, her worst fear confirmed. Judge Helen Ramsey, known for favoring white families, will preside. At work, she overhears colleagues gossiping about the case, their smirks fueling her humiliation. Ethan's wealth and connections loom like a storm cloud, threatening to steal Nia away. Maya pictures Nia's smile, her daughter's future hanging by a thread, and feels a surge of defiance. Alone in her apartment, she clutches a photo of Nia, her heart pounding with resolve to fight Ethan's manipulation, no matter how powerful he seems, knowing she's all Nia has left. Maya's phone buzzes with an unknown number as she stirs a pot of soup, her nerves still raw from Nia's arrest. It's Ben Tsosie, a Navajo freelance reporter with a warm voice, asking to meet about Nia's case. At a dusty Gallup diner, Ben's intense eyes lock onto hers, explaining he's investigating injustices against Native people in town. He believes Nia's story could expose Chief Dutton's corruption, but Maya's heart races, fearing publicity might hurt her custody battle. She shakes her head, muttering, "I can't risk losing her." Ben slides his business card across the table, urging her to call if she changes her mind. As she leaves, the card feels heavy in her pocket, a spark of hope tangled with dread. Back home, Maya stares at Nia sleeping, her resolve wavering, torn between safety and the chance to fight for justice. Maya's phone pings late at night, a chilling message displaying a blurry photo of her apartment. "Stay quiet, Indian." Her hands tremble as more threats from a far-right group flood in, each one targeting her Navajo heritage. Nia, catching sight of the messages, begs to skip school, her voice quivering with fear. Maya calls in sick to stay home, her boss's annoyed tone adding to her stress. She peers out the window, imagining eyes watching from the shadows, and suspects someone at the police station leaked her address. The air feels thick with danger, suffocating her hope. She hugs Nia tightly, whispering promises of safety, but her mind races, wondering how to protect her daughter from a faceless enemy. Maya's anger simmers, fueling her determination to fight back despite the growing terror. In a cramped office cluttered with legal files, Maya pleads with Tina Yazzie, the Navajo lawyer, to take on Chief Dutton's misconduct. Tina's brow furrows, her voice heavy as she warns that Gallup's justice system rarely sides with Native people. Yet, moved by Maya's desperation, she agrees to help, her eyes softening with resolve. She suggests filing a formal complaint against Dutton, but stresses the need for solid evidence to stand a chance. Maya's heart lifts slightly, grateful for an ally, though fear of failure lingers. As she leaves, Tina's warning echoes. This won't be easy, Maya. Back at home, Maya clutches Naya's photo, her hope flickering like a candle in a storm, determined to push forward for her daughter's sake. The weight of the fight presses down, but Tina's support gives her strength to face the battle ahead. Maya steps into the dimly lit convenience store where Naya was arrested, her pulse quickening as she approaches the manager. She begs to see the security footage, but the manager, a stern man with crossed arms, flatly refuses, citing policy. Disheartened, Maya lingers outside, where a young cashier whispers that the police pressured the store to pin the theft on Nia without proof. Maya's hands shake as she secretly records the conversation, her heart pounding with a mix of anger and hope. She thanks the cashier, her voice tight, and hurries home, clutching the recording like a lifeline. Sitting at her kitchen table, she replays the audio, each word fueling her resolve to clear Nia's name. Yet, the fear of retaliation looms, and Maya wonders if this evidence will be enough to challenge Dutton's lies. Her determination grows, rooted in love for her daughter. In the soft glow of their apartment's living room, Nia slumps on the couch, her eyes red from crying. Maya sits beside her, heart aching, and gently asks what happened at the store. Nia's voice breaks as she confesses. Her friends dared her to go inside, but she never stole anything. "I let you down, Mom," she sobs, burying her face in her hands. Maya pulls her close, stroking her hair, whispering, "You're my everything, and I'll fix this." The moment binds them, Nia's trust reigniting Maya's fierce resolve, though the looming custody battle casts a shadow. As Nia falls asleep in her arms, Maya stares at the ceiling, her mind racing with plans to protect her daughter. The warmth of Nia's breath steadies her, but the weight of Ethan's legal threat presses harder, pushing Maya to fight with every ounce of her strength. Maya strides into the Gallup police station, her heart hammering as she demands a public apology from Chief Carl Dutton for Nia's humiliation. The air feels thick with tension, the station's stale coffee scent mixing with her rising anger. Dutton leans back in his chair, his smirk cruel, and scoffs. "Indians like you always stir up trouble." His words cut deep, but Maya stands tall, her voice steady despite her shaking hands, insisting Nia deserves respect. Dutton's eyes narrow, his threat chilling. "Keep this up, and you'll lose that girl for good." Officer Greg Malone steps forward, his hostile glare pinning Maya, his silence more menacing than words. As she leaves, her pulse races, the weight of Dutton's power pressing on her chest. Yet Nia's tearful face flashes in her mind, fueling Maya's resolve to fight, no matter how dangerous the path ahead. Alone in her dimly lit apartment, Maya clutches Ben Tsosie's business card, her fingers tracing its edges as she dials his number. Her voice wavers as she agrees to share Nia's story, desperation outweighing her fear. Over coffee at a quiet diner, Ben's earnest gaze meets hers, revealing his suspicion. Dutton may be tied to missing and murdered Indigenous women, MMIW. Cases in Gallup. Maya's breath catches, the revelation hitting like a punch, her mind reeling with the possibility of a deeper conspiracy. Ben's notebook, filled with scribbled names and dates, hints at a pattern of ignored crimes. She hesitates, torn between exposing Dutton and protecting Nia's safety. As she drives home, the desert stars above seem to whisper courage, pushing her to dig deeper. Maya's shock turns to determination, her heart set on uncovering the truth, no matter how dark. 13. Tina nộp đơn khiếu nại. Tina Yazzie, her desk buried under legal papers, files a formal complaint against Chief Dutton, her hands steady despite the daunting task. Maya waits anxiously outside the courthouse, the Gallup sun blazing, her hope pinned on Tina's effort. Inside, Judge Helen Ramsey, with her cold, dismissive stare, skims the complaint and tosses it aside, citing insufficient evidence. The rejection lands like a blow, Maya's shoulders slumping as she feels the system's bias closing in. Tina's face tightens, but she whispers to Maya, "We'll keep fighting." Back home, Maya paces. Her frustration boiling, she knew Ramsey favored the powerful, yet the dismissal stings. Nia's quiet presence in the next room anchors her, reigniting her resolve. The courthouse's marble walls loom in her mind, a fortress of injustice, but Maya vows to find a way through for her daughter's sake. Ben Tsosie's article, paired with the damning video of Dutton's racist tirade against Nia, hits a local news site, its words blazing across Gallup. The Navajo community erupts, organizing a small protest outside the police station, their signs bold, voices chanting for Dutton's removal. Maya watches from the crowd, her heart swelling with pride but twisting with fear, as counter-protesters' far-right extremists arrive, their shouts laced with hate. The air crackles with tension, police forming a thin line between the groups. Ben, scribbling notes, nods at Maya, his eyes alight with purpose. A protester hands her a sign reading, "Justice for Nia," and she grips it tightly, feeling part of something bigger. Yet, the extremists' glares burn into her, a reminder of the danger growing around her family. Maya's resolve hardens under the desert sun, ready to face the storm this truth has unleashed. Maya's phone rings in the dead of night, an anonymous voice hissing, "Shut up or Nia's next." Her heart races as she checks the locks, the darkness outside her apartment feeling alive with menace. The next morning, she finds her car's tires slashed. The jagged cut screaming Malashash suspects Officer Malone's hand in it. Nia, pale and wide-eyed, clings to her, asking, "Are we safe, Mom?" Maya forces a smile, hiding her fear, but her hands shake as she sweeps glass from the driveway. She calls the police, but the officer's indifference confirms her suspicion of an inside leak. The weight of constant threats presses on her, yet quitting isn't an option. Nia's future depends on her strength. Maya sits by Nia's bedside that night, her daughter's soft breathing steadying her, fueling her refusal to bow to fear, even as danger creeps closer. Tina Yazzie hunches over a dusty file in her cramped office, her eyes narrowing at a faded report about a Navajo woman's disappearance, ignored by Gallup police years ago. The detail's vague notes, no follow-up, spark her suspicion that Chief Dutton buried the case. She calls Maya, her voice urgent, explaining the pattern of neglected investigations involving Native women. Tina's fingers tap nervously, admitting they need more evidence to tie Dutton to a cover-up. She urges Maya to talk to Navajo elders, who might hold untold stories. Maya's heart races, the weight of these lost lives fueling her anger, but also her fear of digging deeper. As she leaves Tina's office, the Gallup wind howls, mirroring her swirling emotions. Back home, Maya stares at Nia's photo, her resolve hardening she'll seek answers, no matter the risk, to honor both her daughter and the forgotten women. A friend's hushed introduction leads Maya to Sarah Begay, a Navajo elder whose weathered face holds secrets in its lines, sitting in a quiet hogan outside Gallup. Sarah's voice, low and steady, recounts tales of missing Navajo women, each case dismissed by police. She hints at Dutton's corruption, whispering of bribes that silenced justice. her eyes sharp with knowing. Sarah hands Maya a crumpled list of unsolved cases, the paper heavy with unspoken grief, but refuses to say how she got it. Maya's hands tremble, the names blurring through her tears, each one a life erased. As she drives home, the desert's vast silence feels alive with the women's stories, urging her forward. Sarah's cryptic warning, "Be careful, child," echoes, but Maya's heart burns with purpose, ready to unravel Dutton's secrets for Nia and her people. Nia slumps at the kitchen table, her backpack untouched, confessing that classmates shun her, sneering troublemaker, after the viral video. Maya's heart aches as Nia describes a heated argument with a teacher who mocked her, leading to a week suspension. The school's cold letter lies on the counter, its words stinging like a slap. Nia's eyes, once bright, now dim with shame, make Maya's chest tighten. Fears her daughter might drift toward Gallup's dangerous gangs. She pulls Nia into a hug, whispering, "You're stronger than this," though her own doubts gnaw at her. At night, Maya lies awake, the hum of the city outside fueling her worry but also her fight. She vows to clear Nia's name, driven by love and the desperate need to keep her daughter safe from a world that seems determined to break her. Ben Tsosie stumbles into a Gallup diner, his lip bloody, bruises blooming on his cheek from an ambush by strangers at a local bar. He tells Maya over the phone, his voice strained, suspecting Officer Malone orchestrated the attack to silence his investigation. With no proof, Ben's frustration crackles, but his eyes still burn with defiance. He warns Maya to watch her back, the danger now undeniable. She clutches her phone, picturing Ben's battered face, her stomach churning at the cost of their fight. Yet Ben's resolve to keep digging into Dutton's crimes sparks a flicker of courage in her. As she hangs up, the desert night presses against her window, heavy with threat. But Maya's determination grows. She won't let fear stop their pursuit of truth. Ben's bruised but unbroken spirit pushes her to fight harder for Nia and justice. Maya steps into the Gallup courthouse, her palms sweaty, for a preliminary custody hearing, the air thick with the scent of polished wood and power. Judge Helen Ramsey, her face stern, fixes Maya with a cold stare, her bias clear as she praises Ethan's stability. She scolds Maya for disrupting the community with the video, her words sharp as knives. Maya's throat tightens, her voice barely a whisper as she defends Nia, but Ramsey's dismissive wave cuts her off. Outside, Tina grips Maya's arm, urging, "Don't give up. We'll fight this." The courthouse's towering columns loom like barriers, but Maya's heart pounds with defiance, fueled by Nia's trusting smile. As she drives home, Gallup's sunset paints the sky red, mirroring her burning resolve to face Ramsey's injustice and keep her daughter, no matter the odds. Maya slips into quiet Navajo homes, her notebook trembling as grieving families share stories of missing and murdered Indigenous women, MMIW, their voices heavy with pain. Each tale reveals police neglect, cases dismissed without investigation. She notices a chilling pattern. Chief Dutton, or Officer Malone, handled every case, closing them swiftly with no answers. Her heart pounds as she scribbles notes, the weight of these lost lives pressing on her. A mother's tearful plea. "They didn't even look for her," echoes in Maya's mind, fueling her suspicion of a broader cover-up. She hides her notes under her mattress, fearing retaliation, but the truth burns inside her. At night, she stares at Nia sleeping, her resolve hardening to expose the corruption for her daughter and these forgotten women. The Gallup stars outside seem to whisper courage, urging Maya to keep digging despite the danger. Ethan Carter's sleek car pulls up to Maya's modest apartment, his polished shoes stark against the cracked pavement. He knocks, his voice smooth but cold, urging Maya to drop her custody fight. For Nia's sake, his veiled threat money can sway the court, sends a chill down her spine. Maya's fists clench, her voice sharp as she refuses, defiance masking her fear of his influence. Ethan's eyes narrow, hinting at a connection to Judge Ramsey, leaving Maya's stomach in knots. As he drives away, she locks the door, her heart racing with dread but also anger. She pictures Nia's smile, her only anchor against Ethan's power. Alone, Maya paces, the desert wind rattling her windows, her resolve steeling she'll fight him, no matter how deep his pockets or how close he is to Ramsey. Officer Greg Malone looms outside Maya's apartment at dusk, his shadow stretching across her doorstep as he snarls, "You'll regret digging into this." His words drip with menace, his eyes cold and unyielding. Maya's heart races, but she secretly records his threat, her hands shaking as she hides her phone. Later, she plays the audio for Tina, who sighs, warning it's too vague to use against Malone legally. Maya feels the walls closing in, her trust in others fraying as she wonders who she can rely on. She checks the locks, the night outside heavy with danger, her isolation growing. Nia's soft voice from the next room, asking for a bedtime story, steadies her. Maya's fear battles her fury, but her love for Nia pushes her to keep fighting, even as Malone's threat echoes in her mind. Tina Yazzie strides into the Gallup courthouse, her briefcase heavy with a lawsuit against the police for violating Nia's rights during her arrest. She demands an internal investigation into Dutton and Malone's misconduct, her voice firm despite the odds. Maya waits outside, the sun scorching, her hope pinned on Tina's courage. But whispers reach them. Malone has tampered with evidence, threatening to derail the case. Tina's face tightens, but she vows to find new proof. Maya's chest aches with frustration, the system's bias a suffocating weight. She clings to a photo of Nia, her daughter's smile fueling her fight. As they leave, the courthouse's shadow looms, but Tina's determination sparks a flicker of hope in Maya, pushing her to believe justice might still be possible, even if the path is treacherous. The Navajo community's protests swell, their voices echoing through Gallup's streets, signs demanding justice for Nia and MMIW victims. National news vans arrive, cameras flashing, amplifying their cries to the world. Maya stands among the crowd, her heart lifting as strangers chant Nia's name, their unity a warm embrace. Tina receives calls from human rights groups, offering legal aid, their support a lifeline. But Maya's joy is tempered by fear. Nia's safety feels fragile amid the rising tension. A Navajo elder squeezes her hand, whispering, "We're with you." And tears prick Maya's eyes. At home, she watches Nia draw, her daughter's quiet strength grounding her. The protest's energy fuels Maya's hope, but the shadow of threats lingers, urging her to protect Nia while clinging to the community's strength to keep fighting. Maya's stomach drops as she overhears a hushed phone call at the law office. Her coworker Lisa's voice betraying her, leaking personal details to Laura Pierce. Lisa, once a friendly face, has shared Maya's struggle slate rent, stress over Niato paint her as unstable. Laura pounces, filing court documents accusing Maya of mental unfitness to weaken her custody case. Maya's hands shake, her trust shattered, the office's fluorescent lights glaring like a spotlight on her pain. She confronts Lisa, who avoids her eyes, muttering excuses, leaving Maya feeling utterly alone. At home, she stares at Nia's drawings, tears falling as betrayal stings deeper than Dutton's threats. She locks her door, paranoia creeping in, wondering who else might turn against her. Yet, Nia's soft knock, asking for dinner, pulls Maya back, her love for her daughter reigniting her fight despite the crushing sense of isolation. Maya meets Ben Tsosie in a dimly lit Gallup cafe, their tables strewn with notes as they pore over police reports and witness accounts. Their late-night sessions uncover a chilling truth. A local company, Apex Enterprises, pays off police to ignore crimes against Native people. Ben's eyes blaze with urgency, pushing to publish their findings, but Maya hesitates, her heart heavy with fear of retaliation. She pictures Nia's face, the custody battle looming, making every step feel like a gamble. Ben's scribbled timeline linking Dutton to Apex sits between them, a ticking bomb of truth. Maya's hands tremble as she sips cold coffee, torn between justice and safety. The cafe's hum fades, the weight of their discovery pressing on her. Driven by the memory of her father's wrongful death, Maya agrees to keep digging, her resolve strengthening despite the risks. Sarah Begay's call comes late, her voice urgent, summoning Maya to a remote Hogan under Gallup's starry sky. The elder hands her a USB drive, its contents explosive. Documents tying Dutton to a crime syndicate paid to bury MMIW cases for Apex's profit. Sarah's weathered hands tremble, her eyes fierce, warning Maya of the danger in exposing this. Maya's breath catches, the USB heavy in her palm, each file a life silenced by corruption. She drives home, the desert silence amplifying her fear of retaliation. At her kitchen table, she scans the files, her heart pounding with both hope and dread this could end Dutton's reign. Nia's laughter from the next room anchors her, pushing her to seize this chance. Maya clutches the USB, her determination surging, ready to risk everything to break the cycle of injustice for her daughter and her people. Laura Pierce's icy voice crackles through a letter, accusing Maya of slander for digging into Dutton's crimes, her threat to sue chilling. She's uncovered Maya and Ben's investigation, her spies sharp and relentless. The letter arrives with a warning from Maya's boss, his tone stern, pressuring her to back off or lose her job. Maya's chest tightens, the office's walls closing in, her livelihood now at stake. She rereads Laura's words, each one a dagger aimed at her fight for Nia. At home she paces, the Gallup night heavy with despair, her dreams of justice slipping away. Nia's soft voice asking, "Are we okay, Mom?" cuts through her panic, reigniting her fire. Maya's desperation fuels her defiance, won't let Laura's tactics crush her, not when Nia's future and the truth hang in the balance. Maya stands at a Gallup community center, her voice steady, but hands shaking, as she and Ben unveil Sarah's documents at a public hearing. Cameras flash, the crowd gasping as she accuses Dutton of orchestrating an MMIW cover-up, her words raw with pain and power. Ben projects the USB's files bank transfers, emails proof of Dutton's bribes, stunning the room. The Navajo community erupts in cheers, but Maya's heart races, knowing the cost of this moment. Dutton and Malone are suspended on the spot, police escorts ushering them out amid jeers. Reporters swarm, their questions a blur, as Maya grips Nia's hand, her daughter's presence, her anchor. The room's heat and noise fade, her focus on the justice now within reach. Yet, as she leaves, the weight of retaliation looms, but Maya's resolve burns brighter, fueled by her love for Nia and the truth finally spoken. A rock shatters Maya's apartment window, the crash jolting her awake as far-right extremists escalate their threats after the public hearing. Glass litters the floor, and Nia's screams pierce the night, her eyes wide with terror as she begs, "Can we leave Gallup?" Maya pulls her daughter close, her heart breaking, whispering promises of safety despite her own fear. Her phone buzzes with more hateful messages, each one a dagger aimed at her Navajo roots. Tina calls, her voice heavy. Tina's been fired from her law firm, Ramsey's allies pressuring her for supporting Maya. The news hits like a punch, guilt flooding Maya for dragging Tina into this storm. She sweeps up the glass, her hands trembling, the Gallup night alive with menace. Yet, Nia's trembling hand in hers fuels Maya's resolve she'll protect her daughter, no matter the cost, even as the world seems to close in around them. Judge Helen Ramsey's gavel falls like a hammer in the courthouse, her voice icy as she delays Dutton's investigation, claiming more time is needed. Maya, seated in the gallery, feels her stomach twist as Ramsey's eyes lock onto her, threatening to award Nia's custody to Ethan if Maya persists. The judge's words echo, a deliberate blow to crush her spirit. Outside, Navajo protesters chant, their voices a lifeline, reminding Maya she's not alone. Tina grips her arm, urging resilience, but Maya's hope frays, the courthouse's cold marble walls suffocating her. She pictures Nia's smile, her only anchor against Ramsey's power. At home, she stares at the broken window, feeling her world crumble. Yet, the community's unwavering support sparks a flicker of defiance, pushing Maya to fight on, determined to outlast Ramsey's tactics for her daughter's sake. Ben Tsosie, his face still bruised, dials a national human rights organization, his voice urgent as he shares Maya's damning documents. The group responds swiftly, sending a sharp-eyed lawyer to Gallup to bolster Tina and Maya's case. Maya meets the lawyer in a crowded diner, her heart lifting at the promise of new support, though fear of the final custody hearing lingers. Ben's notebook, filled with fresh leads, sits open, his determination infectious. The lawyer's firm handshake feels like a lifeline, a sign the tide might turn. Maya's hands tremble as she sips coffee, hope flickering but tempered by worry for Nia's safety. At home, she tucks Nia in, the desert stars outside whispering possibility. The weight of the fight presses on, but Ben's alliance with powerful allies gives Maya a spark of courage to face the looming battle. Nia steps onto a makeshift stage at a Navajo community meeting, her voice shaking but clear as she shares her story of humiliation by Dutton. The crowd listens, rapt, as her words weave pain into strength, inspiring young Navajo to join the fight. Maya watches, tears in her eyes, pride swelling for her daughter's bravery, though fear gnaws Nia's visibility makes her a target. Elders nod in approval, their murmurs of support warming the room. Nia's speech ends with a call for justice, sparking louder protests outside. Maya hugs her tightly, whispering, "I'm so proud," but her heart races, picturing far-right threats. The community's energy, vibrant and unyielding, fuels the movement, but Maya checks the locks that night, her love for Nia battling her dread. Nia's courage lights a fire in Maya, pushing her to protect her daughter's newfound strength at all costs. Ethan Carter's face appears on local television, his voice soft with a scripted apology to Maya, offering shared custody to spare Nia pain. Maya's stomach churns, sensing a trap in his sudden humility, her instincts screaming he's dodging a losing fight. She rejects the deal, her voice firm, refusing to trust his motives. Laura Pierce, in a sleek office, warns Ethan their case is crumbling, urging a bolder move before the final hearing. Maya hears of Laura's panic through Tina, a glimmer of hope amid her distrust. At home, she watches Nia sleep, Ethan's words replaying, twisting her gut with doubt. The Gallup wind howls outside, mirroring her turmoil, but her love for Nia steels her resolve. Maya's defiance grows, determined to see through Ethan's ploy and fight for full custody, no matter how cunning his tactics become. Federal agents storm Gallup's police station, their boots echoing as they arrest Officer Greg Malone, cuffs snapping around his wrists. Evidence of his tampering with MMIW case file shredded reports, deleted log surfaces, undeniable proof of his corruption. In a stark interrogation room, Malone, sweating, confesses Dutton's role in the cover-up, trading secrets for a lighter sentence. Maya hears the news on the radio, her heart leaping with a surge of hope justice feels closer. She hugs Nia, the warmth of her daughter grounding her, but her joy is tempered by fear of Dutton's next move. At night, she checks the locks, Malone's menacing glare haunting her dreams. The desert wind howls outside, carrying whispers of progress, yet Maya's worry lingers, knowing Dutton remains a looming threat. Her resolve strengthens, fueled by the crack in the system's armor, pushing her to keep fighting for Nia and the silenced women. Chief Carl Dutton, unbowed, hires a slick private lawyer who storms into Gallup's spotlight, accusing Maya and Ben of fabricating lies to smear him. At a packed press conference, Dutton's voice booms, rallying for law and order, his words rallying a crowd of white locals who cheer his defiance. Their signs, praising Dutton, twist Maya's stomach as she watches on television, fear creeping in. The lawyer's sharp suit and sharper words paint Maya as a vengeful troublemaker, chilling her hope. She grips Nia's hand, the room's dim light casting shadows on her worried face. Pro-Dutton posters sprout around town, each one a jab at her courage. At home, Maya paces, the Gallup night heavy with tension, but her anger burns brighter than her fear. She vows to stand firm, her love for Nia and the truth outweighing the growing hostility. Tina Yazzie, jobless but unbroken, sets up a makeshift office in her Gallup apartment, vowing to fight for Maya as a freelance lawyer. She spends late nights calling MMIW families, her voice gentle but firm, collecting new testimonies that damn Dutton's negligence. Maya visits, her heart swelling at Tina's cluttered desk, papers stacked high with hope. Tina's tired eyes shine with purpose, her dedication a beacon in Maya's storm. A victim's mother shares a tearful story, strengthening their case, and Maya feels a rush of gratitude. She hugs Tina, the warmth of their bond easing her sense of isolation. The city's hum outside fades, Tina's resolve reigniting Maya's own. Maya leaves with renewed strength, knowing she's not alone, her fight for Nia and justice bolstered by Tina's unwavering support. Maya dials Sarah Begay's number, her heart sinking as it goes to voicemail, the elder's absence sudden and eerie. A note arrives, scribbled in Sarah's hand. Unity is strength, leaving Maya chilled, fearing Sarah's been silenced for her role. She visits Sarah's hogan, finding it empty, the desert wind whispering loss. The Navajo community gathers for a prayer ceremony, candles flickering for Sarah and MMIW victims, their songs heavy with grief. Maya joins, her tears falling as elders speak of resilience, Sarah's words echoing in their voices. Nia holds her hand, her presence a quiet anchor. The ceremony's warmth fuels Maya's courage, urging her to honor Sarah's legacy. She tucks the note away, its message a spark in the darkness, driving her to fight on despite the growing shadows of danger. Maya steps into the Gallup courthouse, her pulse racing, for the final custody hearing, Ethan's smug face across the room. Judge Ramsey's cold stare favors him, her voice sharp, but media scrutiny cameras outside, reporters scribbling forces her to tread carefully. Nia takes the stand, her voice clear, saying, "I want to stay with Mom," her words piercing Maya's heart. Maya's eyes brim with tears, pride and hope surging as Nia's courage shines. Ramsey shifts uncomfortably, the crowd's murmurs pressuring her impartiality. Tina's steady gaze bolsters Maya, their shared fight a silent strength. Ethan's lawyer, Laura, falters, her arguments weakening under Nia's testimony. As Maya leaves, the courthouse's weight lifts slightly, her love for Nia fueling her belief that they might win, despite Ramsey's lingering bias. The Gallup courthouse square pulses, with the largest Navajo protest yet, hundreds chanting for justice, their signs blazing with demands for Nia, Maya, and MMIW victims. Drums echo, elders lead prayers, and young voices join, creating a tide of unity under the desert sun. Maya stands among them, her heart swelling as strangers clasp her hands, their warmth easing her fears. National news crews film, their reports beaming the Navajos' fight across the country, piling pressure on Judge Ramsey. Protesters hoist a banner reading "Truth for Our Women," its bold letters a defiant cry. Far-right counter, protesters lurk, but the Navajos' numbers drown their hate. Nia, beside Maya, grips her mother's arm, her eyes bright with pride. The crowd's roar fuels Maya's hope, but the courthouse's shadow reminds her of the battle ahead, her love for Nia anchoring her resolve to see this through. Federal agents swarm Chief Carl Dutton's office, handcuffs clicking as they arrest him, his face pale with shock. Maya's evidence, Sarah's USB, Malone's confession ails him for bribery and covering up MMIW cases, charges read aloud in a stark courtroom. News spreads, Navajo families cheering outside, their relief palpable. Maya hears it on her radio, her breath catching, a weight lifting from her chest. She hugs Nia, tears falling, but worry gnaws Dutton's allies might retaliate. The Gallup streets buzz with talk, some praising Maya, others whispering threats. She locks her door, the night heavy with uncertainty, yet the arrest feels like a victory. Maya's heart beats with cautious hope, knowing this step toward justice for Nia and the lost women comes with risks she must face. A judicial watchdog launches a probe into Judge Helen Ramsey, her biased rulings exposed by media and Navajo protests, her name now tainted. Documents reveal her favoritism in Ethan's favor, forcing her into early retirement, her once proud reputation in ruins. Maya reads the news. Her heart-racing justice feels real, but fragile. She pictures Ramsey's cold stare, the memory bitter, yet the investigation lifts her spirits. Navajo elders call to celebrate, their voices warm with triumph. Still, Maya's joy is tempered, her worry for Nia's custody lingering like a shadow. At home, she lights a candle, the flame flickering with hope for a fairer future. The courthouse, once a fortress of prejudice, now seems less daunting, but Maya braces for the final fight, her love for Nia unwavering. Laura Pierce's sharp arguments crumble in court, her case for Ethan collapsing under the weight of Nia's testimony and public outcry, losing the custody battle. Her failure in Gallup costs her big clients, her polished reputation tarnished as she flees town, leaving Ethan to face defeat alone. Maya hears of Laura's exit, a quiet victory warming her heart, proof her persistence paid off. She walks past the courthouse, its steps now silent, feeling stronger. Nia's laughter at home, free from Laura's schemes, fills Maya with gratitude. The town's whispers turn kinder, some locals nodding in respect. Maya reflects on her fight, the long nights of fear now worth it. Her resolve deepens, knowing her grit outlasted Laura's cunning, a lesson in the power of standing firm for Nia. Maya's boss calls her into a stark office, his voice flat as he fires her, citing pressure from law firm partners angered by her high-profile fight. Her heart sinks, the loss of income a crushing blow, bills already piling on her kitchen table. She leaves the office, Gallup's dusty streets blurring through tears, fear of financial ruin heavy. The Navajo community rallies, neighbors dropping off cash and food, their kindness a lifeline. Maya hugs Nia, vowing to start over, her daughter's smile her only anchor. At night, she sits by a flickering lamp, planning a new path, her spirit bruised but unbroken. The community's support wraps around her like a blanket, easing her despair. Maya's determination. In a packed Gallup courtroom, the judge's gavel falls, sentencing Ethan Carter with a fine for manipulating the justice system to sabotage Maya's custody case. His face pales as the ruling strips him of custody, granting him only supervised visits with Nia. Maya and Nia collapse into each other's arms, tears streaming, their sobs a mix of relief and triumph. The courtroom's heavy air lifts, sunlight streaming through high windows mirroring their victory. Ethan's lawyer, defeated, gathers her papers in silence, while Navajo supporters cheer softly from the gallery. Maya strokes Nia's hair, whispering, "We did it," her heart soaring after months of fear. Outside, they walk hand in hand, Gallup's dusty streets feeling lighter. The weight of Ethan's wealth and lies no longer binds them, and Maya's joy, tempered by battle scars, blooms with love for her daughter, celebrating their hard-won freedom. Tina Yazzie's phone rings with an offer from a national human rights group, hiring her to advocate for Navajo justice, her passion reignited. She visits Maya's apartment, her smile radiant, thanking Maya for inspiring her to keep fighting despite losing her old job. Maya's eyes well up, touched by Tina's gratitude, their bond a warm light in her struggles. Tina shares plans to tackle systemic bias, her voice alive with purpose. They sip coffee, the kitchen cozy with laughter, a rare moment of peace. Maya reflects on their shared fight, the Gallup sunset painting the sky outside, a symbol of hope. Tina's new role feels like a victory for them both, strengthening Maya's belief in unity. She hugs Tina goodbye, her heart full, knowing their friendship and collective strength carried them through the storm, ready for new battles together. Ben Tsosie's feature on Dutton's corrupt network hits newsstands, its bold headlines earning him a prestigious journalism award, the pages heavy with truth. He calls Maya, his voice proud but determined, vowing to keep probing Gallup's injustices. Maya reads the article, her chest swelling with pride for their collaboration. Ben's words, a beacon for the Navajo. At a local diner, Ben shows her his next leads, his notebook brimming with names and dates. Supporters pat his shoulder, their nods a quiet salute. Maya smiles, her faith in justice renewed by Ben's tireless spirit. The Gallup night hums outside, alive with possibility, as Ben's award sits on his desk, a testament to their fight. Maya's heart lifts, knowing their work together sparked change, her gratitude for Ben fueling her hope for a fairer future. Nia stands tall at a Navajo community event, her voice steady as she speaks about justice, her confidence blooming like a desert flower. She joins youth groups, organizing rallies, her once shy eyes now bright with purpose. At home, she tells Maya she wants to study law, to fight for Navajo rights like her mother. Maya's heart swells, tears brimming as she sees Naya's strength emerge from their ordeal. The community embraces Naya, elders praising her courage, their words wrapping her in pride. Naya's laughter fills their apartment, a sound Maya cherishes after months of fear. She watches Naya lead a chant at a gathering, the Gallup stars above gleaming, reflecting her daughter's growth. Every sacrificial leapless night's lost job feels worth it. Maya's love for Nia proving the power of her fight, now carried forward by her daughter's bold spirit. The MMIW cover-up network crumbles, Gallup's justice system forced to reform, new policies protecting Native rights born from Maya's fight. Maya wins full custody of Nia, their embrace tight, though joblessness leaves her finances shaky. The Navajo community rallies, their donations and meals a warm shield against hardship. Nia dives into community work. Tina thrives in her new role, and Ben's investigations push for more change. Sarah's final note, "Unity is strength," arrives mysteriously, its words igniting Maya's spirit, though Sarah's absence lingers like a quiet ache. Maya stands at a Navajo ceremony, the desert wind carrying prayers, her heart full of hard-won hope. Gallup's streets, once heavy with bias, now hum with possibility. The fight's scars remain, but Maya's love for Nia and the community's bond prove justice comes through courage and sacrifice, a lesson etched in her soul.